Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be sharing with you our updated 4-4-1-1 custom tactics and one of the reasons why we love this formation so much. So if you're really keen on using the 4-4-1-1 at the moment, then this is the formation and this is the video that you need to see. So in order for us to keep producing videos like this, then we do need your support. So make sure that you smash the like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you turn on that notifications bell so that you know exactly when we release new content. So the 4-4-1-1 is a super underused formation. We barely see anybody using this formation, and we really don't know why, because it has got everything that you need in order to succeed in this game. You know, that flat back four, that four in midfield can make it really tough for people to get through the lines, and then the two up front that link up super well as well. So it's just a tough formation to break down. There's not a lot of space in between the lines, and it's just a very good formation. We really fell in love with this formation when we was playing foot draft, and it's just one of those formations that we just play so well with, and it really does suit a very typical a certain style of play. You've got to be somebody who's really confident at passing the ball very quickly. If you can pass the ball very fast and really move it through the gears, this is a formation that's super good, and we just fell in love with this formation over the last week or two. It's so good. And these are the tactics that we settled on when using the 4-4-1-1 formation. So a really bit of a variation on some of our other tactics. Of course, as always, we have the defensive style is balanced. We don't recommend playing on anything but. It's very unnecessary to play on a press unless you are behind in a game. In terms of the defensive width, that's very much the same as we're using a lot of our other formations as well, the 50 width. But the 65 depth is really important. That's sort of 4-4-2, if you like, when you're not in possession. You know, you've got the four in midfield and then the two boys up top. One of them's kind of more of a centre forward. So they link up very well. But that high depth is really important because you really want to be able to get in people's faces, because that four in midfield, it's very hard for people to play through the lines. Now, once they get in behind the midfield, it can be difficult to defend because you don't have a CDM. So you really have to track back with your midfielders as well. That is super important, and really not pull your centre backs out. But it's very hard for people to play through that four in midfield, which is why we like a high depth, because we're able to dominate the game very easily with this formation. So that's why we recommend higher depth. Of course, if someone that's maybe not so good at defending, maybe you do overcommit with these centre backs, then we recommend dropping that depth a little bit down, maybe to around about 55. In terms of the build-up play, we've got slow build-up this time around. And we feel like it works well with this formation because all of the players are very close together and that link-up play is very easy. But it's very important in the midfield area. So we want to be sure of our passing with the slow build-up. But again, as we always say, when you get into the final third, that you got to use direct passing because you've got to be fast in that final third. You can't be slow, you can't be indecisive. You've got to be very sure of what you're doing and how you're attacking, but you've got to be quick. And that's what separates someone from being very average at attacking and very good at attacking, is the speed in which you attack. So you can't dawdle in that final third. So that direct passing really gets people running in behind, you know, opening up space and just creating chances, and that's very important. And the last thing that's really important is the offensive width. We've gone for 65 because you do want the left and right mids to use some width. You know, obviously you have that natural width with the left and right mids, so you need to utilize that. But we don't want to go too wide because then it opens up the midfield. You don't want to go too narrow, makes everything too predictable. We have to go through the middle all the time. So you want them, of course, you're going to have speed in the wings, you know, in the width. So you need to make sure that you use that speed in behind, but not just vertically, but horizontally as well. It's really important to stretch the pitch in both directions. And then in terms of players in the box, we've gone for 5. We want our instructions to do the bulk of that. And then corners, we recommend going on around about 3, but, you know, that's kind of more of a personal preference. So now, before we continue and get into the instructions, if you want us to make more videos like this, then do be sure to hit the thumbs up button and make sure you comment below right now with your questions and thoughts on any other videos that you would like to see going forwards. So let's jump back into it and take a look at the instructions. So of course, when we go into the instructions, of course, the goalkeeper, as always, is going to be on comes for crosses and sweep keeper. Nothing really changes there. And in terms of the two centre backs, of course, they're going to be on stay back while attacking. As we say in some videos, you can have them on conservative interceptions if you really are someone that struggles defensively, so the AI doesn't jump in for you. In terms of the fullbacks, we've got them on stay back while attacking. Of course, when we have width in front of the fullbacks, you don't need these guys to go forwards. You know, you may as well just have them on stay back. The left and right mids provide the width, unless you want to be super attacking and have them overlapping, which for us, it's just very unnecessary. When you have width in front, you don't need the fullbacks to go forward. So just keep them on stay back. Make sure you've got that solid foundation and let the other guys do the attacking. In terms of your two midfielders, we use these guys on balanced attack and stay on edge of the box. So a cover centre, of course, they need to stay in the middle of the pitch. We need to cover that. Stay on edge of the box. We don't want these guys getting into the box. And that's why we wanted our instructions to dictate who went where. Need these guys to not go in the box, because these are the guys that need to be able to break up counters. And if they're making runs beyond the strikers, it's no good. So we need these guys staying on the edge of the box when they can. We do want them on balanced attack because they're centre midfielders. They'll work best playing as box-to-box midfielders. There's no good telling them to stay back, because especially their positioning is not telling them to stay back, so you need to use them on balance. It's really important that they get involved in the build-up play, because if these guys sit back, it becomes very difficult to attack in this formation. You have a really big disconnect, so we recommend having them on balance. And it's really important then that your midfielders are proper box-to-box midfielders. You don't want cams, you don't want CDMs, you need proper box-to-box mids. And then in terms of the two strikers, Lewandowski and Ben Yedder, both these guys want to be on stay central and getting behind. We did flirt around with the idea of using this guy on false nine. It didn't quite work. The problem was when they dropped into midfield, the striker was very isolated, and it's really important that these two have to work together. They have to link up together. When we had them on false nine, he was very isolated, the striker, and it became quite difficult to get the ball to him in some occasions. So that sort of centre forward is the one that links between the midfield and the striker. So you want them on getting behind as well, so that they can sometimes link up with little give and goes. It's really important then that you have two players that work well together. If you're going to have two quick strikers together, two sort of heavy strikers together, whatever it may be, it's really important they link well together. So we need them close to each other. And then in terms of the wingers, these guys are probably the most important players in the position. They've got a lot of different jobs to do, as you can see with the instructions we've got set. So we've got them on get into the box, which is pretty self-explanatory. Need as many players getting into the box as possible, so we're therefore scoring goals, creating chances. We actually have them on getting behind as well. Pairs up well with the direct passing. And of course, if you've got pacey wingers, which of course everybody who has wingers is going to use pace, need them to get in behind. But then the free roam is very, very important, because this is what we talked about when it comes to, mystifying our opponent. We don't want them to stay out wide all the time. We don't want them to cut inside all the time. We want them to do a bit of both, because when they're on free roam, sometimes they stay wide, sometimes they go inside. Makes it very difficult for your opponent to pick them up, because they're just all at 1 minute they're out on the wing, they're running in behind. The next minute they're linking up with the centre forward, and they're finding runs in behind, finding space in between sort of the striker, in between the defenders and the midfielders. They're finding that space, and they're very hard to pick up. And they really do play the biggest role in this team. Now, of course, if you're someone that struggles defensively, you can have them on comeback on defense as well. We don't personally we don't really need that, so that's why we didn't decide to do that. But if you struggle defensively, then we recommend doing that. It will help you become a little bit more solid defensively. So that is it for the 4-4-1-1, and we love this formation. Absolutely, I'm taking this formation into Weekend League. I love this formation. I love just one of those formations that we just stumbled across through playing a little bit of draft, had some free tokens, played in some draft, played 4-4-1-1, and just absolutely loved it, and have just been using it in Rivals ever since, and just having a really good time with it. So we recommend it's a formation that you try out. If you want to try something a little bit different, it's always good to change formations, just try some different things, rather than just sort of being a bit boring and stagnant and playing with the same thing all the time. So we love this formation. So as we said earlier in the video, if you do want us to continue to make more videos like this, then we do need your support. So make sure that you smash the like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notifications bell. And if you do have any other questions you want to ask us, you can join our Discord. The link to that is in the description, or you can ask us any questions in the comment section, and we'll be round to answering them if we can. We are doing a pretty bad job at responding to comments at the moment, so we do apologize for that, but we are going to get back into doing that. It's just we've had a lot of things outside of YouTube that have been going on, so we're going to do our best to get back into doing that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.